Hello there, math fans. I'm in the midst of grading final exams in the fall of 2024. Again, I'm a professor at the University of Washington. I've taught calculus and other courses for over 20 years, about 20,000 students. Over the years, it has become quite a load for me. I'm getting older, my back hurts, so I personally am trying to find more joy in my teaching, and I would like you to find more joy as well. So this is an unusual video, something I probably should never do, but I promised myself about 10 years ago that I would never look at Rate My Professor. I'm going to do that now on the video. Mostly as a thank you to my students. I have so many wonderful students that have treated me well, that appreciate me. I often get lost in the fact that students that I'm just busy. Office hours are packed. People are kind of unhappy with me because they can't get time with me or because something about my exams. And I'm hoping in the years to come to adjust that. And I hope I can bring you along and use what you learn in the years ahead to help with that. I had a wonderful talk today with someone from the Student Success Center, and I have a lot of hope for where we're going to go. So this is the beginning of this, and I hope as many of you continue along in your courses, you can come back and help me build on these ideas. Because to me, this is more important than anything else I've ever done at the university. So first, thank you. I find this, the anxiety of teaching courses, being in front of people, dealing with grades, weighs on me heavy. The challenges of students emailing me in distress for whatever reason. I mean, this quarter we had people that had deaths in the family in India, in China. They had to go home. We had people dealing with distress in other ways in their families. We had students working and having trouble getting to campus. All of these things weigh on me heavily, and I sometimes am searching for ways to reply, and that's part of my next mission here. But it has helped me. After 20 years, I feel a little bit freed. Just recently, the department has given me allowed me to put down a few jobs for less money, but it's been a joy to me. And so it's got me thinking, what is this all about? You know, I know there are real things and challenges, and this video will not resonate with everyone. But really, learning should be joyful. If learning for you is not joyful, if it's just about getting through the course, you hate being in college, you hate taking tests, that makes me sad. Learning new things should be a joyful experience. Every class should be joyful. You are there learning. And it's something I'm going to try to say to grad students as I'm training them. When you make a lecture, there is content, there are things to learn, but there is no reason to not find happiness and joy in that lecture. And I hope students try to look for that as well. Not what the TA is doing wrong, not what the mistakes are. But there's a joy in figuring things out, I think. It doesn't have to be math. I don't care if you love math. I want you to find joy in what you're doing, because there's going to be plenty of times in your life when there isn't joy, and you're having to deal with challenges, and you're in a difficult spot, not making enough money. I mean, there are real challenges. So try to find the joy in learning where you can. I know it's hard when you have a lot of homework assignments, and it's tedious, and you feel overwhelmed. But honestly, the time I had as a student was some of the most wonderful time I had. I had more freedom than I do now. Now every minute of my life is scheduled by what I do with my kids and what I do for my classes. There's very little time that's my own. I often think about that of sometimes you do what you want to do. The rest of the times you do what you have to do. And as you get older, there's more things you have to do. I also hope you can use college as a discovery. To me, that's what it's all about. It's, one of the things it's all about. You need to take courses in different subjects outside your comfort zone. It can't just be math. It can't just be English. It's got to be some different things. There are courses that I took. I took a geology course and I didn't want to take it. And now I think about it probably weekly. It's so valuable. There's a child psychology course that I made fun of. I did a project at the end where I had to do a project on postpartum depression, and on the poster board I put my face on the pregnant white piglet woman's head. I thought I was being so funny, but it was just dumb. I could have used that information. I should have embraced it more. And I love working with kids. I wish I would have embraced that class, and I wish I would have taken more like it rather than just continuing to take math and computer science courses. So please explore courses. And you're trying to find a path. Go easier on yourself. If UW makes you feel like you have to get a 3.5 or better, then it's not the right place. I love UW. I think we have many great things for you. But if you feel like you have to get a 3.5 or better, or your life is over, this is just not the right school. You can find paths here. There are lots of opportunities, but we got to get rid of that stress. And that's a big mission I have. And I hope you can help me deal with that. I'd like to challenge this problem. I do not think of my courses as weed out courses. I think that's rotten that there should be such a thing. I think every course should be a place of joy and learning towards whatever you're trying to do. You are going to have to deal with adversity when you're dealing with taking tests. It should feel like it should feel like when for me playing sports, I sometimes would have events and I would lose. That's a great learning experience. The time when you do poorly on a test, you're much more likely to remember that concept later. Some of these things are hard to deal with. When I went off to college, my brother said, it's okay for you to get C's. No one cares. I've heard other people say D's get degrees. I did not feel the pressure that I see in my students so commonly. And so I want to make a few videos just to discuss that and hopefully have more people think about this problem and what you could do for the next round. Think about a student like you coming in next year and what you could say to them to help them not feel the same feelings you're feeling. So I have several projects in mind about that, and I hope that you come back to me with advice for future students. Okay, on to the evaluation. I just thought this was funny. I promised myself I would never look at Rate My Professor again because of things like this. And I feel like because I'm showing it in this video, I'm taking some power away from it. So this student said I'm very pretentious, cares too much about his domain and ego. Absolutely, I'm making this video. Look I'm wearing my award I won, Distinguished Teaching Award. This is the only time I've ever worn this. I thought I'd wear it for this video. I was not a good fit for that student. Absolutely. And I feel absolutely rotten. There's nothing worse than me looking at that right now. I said something, I did something, I offended somebody. I do want you to realize when you're giving evaluations for your other instructors that it means the world to them. We are people, we're not robots. Every time I see a bad evaluation, it just destroys me. That never changes, I don't think, for anyone. This evaluation absolutely destroys me. I don't know why I'm looking at it on a video, but I'm hoping this removes some power from it over me. But I have so many students that have been kind to me. And again, when it comes to teaching, it just matters what works for you. Go to the instructor that works for you. Go to the courses that work for you. Not everyone's going to like me or someone else, and that's how it is in life. But let's take a look. Mostly, I just wanted to say, this is not meant to be bragging. I mean, I'm mad that it's 4.8. Why isn't it 5? But mostly I have a lot of ratings, 446 ratings, which is just a measure of how many students I teach. I've taught over 20,000 students. But it's also a measure of the load. That always doesn't necessarily make me feel good. It just makes me realize how many people are wanting to talk to me, and I feel that pressure. And I'm looking for the right words and things to help students in the future. I do think, maybe that's the most ratings of anyone at UW. Please tell my chair that this was valuable to you. I'm a teaching faculty member, which means I'm paid a lot less than all the other professors. There is a group of teaching faculty members in our department. and I'm well paid among that group. But compared to tenured professors, it's nothing. I hope in the years to come, and I do have hope, that teaching faculty will become a bigger, more important piece, because many of your greatest professors are teaching professors. There's also some wonderful tenure track professors. I just want to encourage you to, students don't think about this when they're doing evaluations, but is your instructor someone that makes $80,000 or someone that makes $180,000? And you may not realize one after another is that different. Okay, let's see what students like. So some are happy. I just wanted to comment that thank you for this. This is hard for me to look at. Even the positive comments, I find something. But I really appreciate this. I am aware. Students sometimes when I'm talking about challenging things I'm dealing with, they say, have you seen these posts? And I have trouble looking. He's passionate. A legend. I don't know a legend to who. Math is funny because you can be a legend, but no one can know who you are. I really appreciate that. This means a lot to me. I don't do it for this. I do it because because of guilt. I feel guilty when my students do poorly. Because of that, I feel like I have to always be thinking about my classes. And so I really appreciate things like this mean the world to me when you make these posts. I really appreciate it. Again, I probably won't look at this again in 10 years. But I really appreciate this, and I want to encourage you to post for other instructors, nominate them for awards. Teaching is something the teachers only get a very small bit of that tuition dollars you give. And so anything else where they can feel like we're valuable, we kind of work in the shadows. No one knows what we do, and that's why I've started to make these YouTube videos. I just want more people to be aware of what we do and to maybe enjoy some of the things we enjoy. And I hope you can do that for your other instructors. There was something in here, really hard class. Thank you for that. Not thank you for the hard class. Somebody had me for a couple classes. Homework was tedious. Very fairly graded. No one ever says that. A good dude. I'm not cool enough to be called a dude. Oh man, extra office hours. I remember there's complaints usually. Attendance isn't mandatory, so why go? One time after lecture, he met with me. Oh, thank you. Yep, that's part of what we do. He is insane. There we go. I finally found a -1. I actually stayed awake during lectures. I love that. Thank you so much. So maybe I'll do this from time to time. Oh no, somebody's talking about how they used AI to pass my course. I don't know if I should read that. But I appreciate this time. I hope that you guys can let me know videos I can make that would be of general interest. I just would like there to be more joy in what we do. And this is not, I'm not trying to, don't start commenting on there, giving me, don't blow smoke at me. This is just a comment for you. I want your experience at UW to be better than the experience was for that student, for sure. And I want you to experience joy in learning. This fact that you feel like you have to get a 3.2 or your life is over, that's something I'm going to be working on, and I can use your help. But I would like you to see if you can change your mentality to, there is a joy in learning things. I want to discover new things. I want to take courses in things very different than my comfort level. I tried to never speak in college, and because I went to a liberal arts college, you had to sit in these classes and have big discussions. And I had one professor that was like, you have to talk at some point. And I remember that. The things like that are memorable. And I'm starting to think back to my time in college and for things my professor said that resonated with me. And I'm hoping I can pass some of that on. So try to take some joy in learning. There's very few times in your life when you have the freedom to learn in this way. Take advantage of it. I know that many of you are fighting with other challenges, but when you do have time that you can sit down and just learn, embrace that. Yes, in the end, maybe you're trying to get a job or something, but learning has value in and of itself. It can be a distraction. It can be a way you connect with people later. Most of the things that I learned that I thought I don't care about, at some point in my life, I've needed to talk to someone else about, and it gave me a connection. So the more things you learn, the more connected you are to the world. So I don't know how any other ways to say that, but I never get to do stuff like this. So thank you so much for these many years of getting to work together. I hope that now that I've finally figured out a more direct path, my goal is joy. There should be joy in learning. That should be a primary ingredient. And so that's kind of my mission moving forward, is there's no reason that learning this math, no piece of it really, there are like calculation pieces, but learning math overall should not be a tedium. There should be a story that goes with it. There should be joy. We are doing something so that we can solve problems and figure things out. I know that not everyone feels that way about math, and if that's not for you, that's fine. But find a path, and I'm just going on and on. But I don't get to talk like this very often, and I hope there was some value in what I just said. So thank you, students, for 20 years in. No one in my department will know. There's no party for 20 years. They're just like, do another 20. So that's what I'm going to do. But this 20 years has been for you, and I hope to be able to focus my time better towards what I think is the primary goal, which is your experience in getting you to broaden your joy of learning and discovery and finding paths so that you can be successful. All right, hope that helps.